Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live. I laughed because I had to think for a second of what I'm doing because I've been working on a lot of things lately. My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday, so it is Wednesday Night Live. Ooh, did that come through my... Hey, John, good evening. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Nice fish you're holding there. John Callison of the CMU Bass Fishing Club. Hey, thanks for the shout out online too this morning, John. Appreciate it. Mad Jack, how are you? Mad Jack, I was just talking with Tony, and Tony, you know Mad Jack. Ted, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Lori, always a pleasure. Good evening, Craig. I hooked up with, well, I didn't. I met with Michelle this morning. Signed the paperwork for you. Hey, Bill, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Patrick, how are you? Bernie, nice to have you along with us. Paul, always a pleasure. Bruce, Eric, Kevin, we're talking tomorrow night. Johnny Bowler, the man, my friend, the Bear Whisperer. Hello, Chris. How are you? Cliff, Andrew, Scott. Scott's going to get the Africa trip in our Trinity Monitor dinner. I'm convinced of it. Don, Dennis, Lane, Teresa, Engadine this evening. Service is not good. What's going on in Engadine? Check. I got a couple things coming in. Okay. Chris, Jim, Tony. It was cold today, wasn't it, Tim? Dale from Midland checking in. Howdy, Brad. How are you? Anyway, my name is Mike Avery. This is another edition of Wednesday Night Live here on, what are we on? We're on my Facebook page. We're on my LinkedIn feed. We're on YouTube, and we're on Twitter as well. Dennis checking in from Aranac County. How are things up there or down there? Here we go. Bernie says where'd it go? Bernie says the first pure Michigan hunt was 2009. I'm 0 for 13. Thanks, Bernie, for pointing that out. And yes, there was a problem. I'm going to address it right now. I'm going to get it out in the open. And so there's no talk of this later. There was a problem this year with the pure Michigan hunt drawing, which was held last Saturday at noon. The system worked well. There were no problems technically. The drawing itself was fine. The problem I'm referring to is the DNR didn't draw my name. And I was supposed to have won the pure Michigan hunt this year. I had no inside track, no inside information, but in my mind, I had won the pure Michigan hunt. So when Eric Hilliard of the DNR didn't say my name Saturday at noon, let's just say I was disappointed. Cold. Evening, Dave. How are you? James, nice to have you. Oh, you're visiting your son and grandson. Excellent, Johnny. Johnny, I didn't think you were old enough to be a grandpa. John, good evening. How are you, buddy? Paul checking in. Good evening. Nice to have you along with us. Mike. Heather, how are you? Heather's getting ready to come downstate to head to Grand Rapids for the show this week. Daryl up in White River. My man, Big Mike Hall. Hope all is well. It is, George. How are you? Johnny says you're still getting a beer tag and a beer tag and a bear. Yes, I am. I know it. Dang it. Not drawing my name. I'm sorry I didn't win too. Mike checking in from Plymouth. How are things? Fowlerville checking in. Marvin, nice to have you with us from Fowlerville. So yeah, DNR did not draw my name. Cliff made a good point. He said this morning, they drew my name fourth. So I'm actually the first alternate in the pure Michigan hunt. Dan says he lost too. Tim checking in from Central Ohio. I am doing well. I'm drawing more than Whitmer. Our illustrious leader. Hey, Harry, how are you? Nice to have you along with us, buddy. You know, that's a good point. Jim said I should have won because hell froze over. Our friend from Hell, Michigan was checking in this morning, and it did freeze over. So hell did freeze over, so I should have won. Tony's got his tickets for the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner. Tony says he's at 8 preference points for Red Oak. What do you think my chances are? Not good, Tony. Not good at all. I hate to tell you this, but not good. Lori spoke with Deidre this morning, still looking for baskets and silent auction items. Just I had a meeting with Deidre Monday night, and we're looking pretty darn good. Thank you, Kevin, for reminding me about that. If you want one of the limited quota turkey tags, you need to apply by February 1st. James says his son Archer is listening. Archer, what a cool name. Archer says he doesn't believe I can read things from us. Well, guess what, Archer? Your dad is right. Your dad is very smart. Your dad is wise. You should listen to your dad. Archer, thanks for joining us, buddy. I love your name and appreciate you being along with us. Doug says he can't wait to see the new Angler Quest in the 8.5-foot bigger tunes, new risers. Exciting to see the change. Best luck, better luck with the drawings next year. Yeah, the Angler Quest, 8.5 feet wide, bigger tubes, cantilevered fishing platform, redesigned bimini. It's all good. I can't wait to see mine. Jeremy says it took him 11 points to get a red oak tag 2 years ago. Evening, Randy. How are you? Yeah, red oak is one of the hardest to get. Red oak's hard to get. Gladwin's hard to get. Drummond Island's very hard to get. Newberry's pretty hard to get. These are all first season, of course. Archer should have asked me what day it is. Nobody has asked me what day it is until Sean came along and asked me what day it is. And Sean says, what day is it? Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. There. Got that out of our system. Lori saw the new AQ at the fishing show down here in Novi. John says he saw a Yukon and a Dakota drive all the way across Lake Fenton on 10 inches of ice. What a sight to see. Oh, no. Patrick got a deer with his 2-week-old trail boss, his Silverado. The trail boss Silverados are nice. You don't want to break it in by hitting a deer, though. I'm sorry to hear that, Patrick. Saw something. Well, Angler Quest heard about that because I made them aware of it. I got a text from Mercury. Angler Quest, and this Angler Quest doesn't have this yet, John, so don't confuse it. I put a post out there saying, yes, I can see your comments, Chris. I just saw it right now, though. Joe, how are you? Good evening, my friend. Nice to have you along with us. You are always welcome here and anywhere else. I want to go back to this. John said he saw something about Angler Quest that had 2 trolling motors to bring this. No, Angler Quest does not have this yet. I posted something saying I need this on my new Angler Quest. I forwarded it along to Brad Dupuy at Angler Quest, and he said, that's very interesting. But right now there are no AQs with that Mercury touch control, the joystick that'll allow you to scoot them into a dock sideways. If they become available, I want one. Hunt Time Expo this weekend in Grand Rapids at the Deltaplex. Excellent. You hear the new Quest has a worm well built in? Some of them might, Rob. But my Angler Quest does not, smart guy. You know that. Lori has 11 points for Red Oak. No luck yet. Thinking about heading to have the Newberry. Well, Lori, here's the deal. All right, Johnny's got to go. Here is the deal. Yeah, Jason, who has an AQ, says that was very cool. Lori, here's the deal. Lori is going to be at our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner on Saturday, March 5th. Johnny Bowler is giving away a bear hunt or a deer hunt in Red Oak, the Newberry area, at that dinner. Lori, you could put in for second season with 11 points and get a tag in Red Oak, and then you could put in to bid on that trip with Johnny Bowler. If you're the highest bidder, you could win, and you could be going hunting. John says he's thinking this year should be his first bear tag, 7 or 8 points. Let me tell you more about this dinner, and I'm not going to bring up the brochure tonight, the flyer tonight, but it's Saturday, March 5th. Trinity Monitor, Lutheran Church in Bay County, Salisbury and 8 Mile. Our wild game dinner and auction is Saturday, March 5th at Bay Valley Resort in Bay County. Call 989-662-4891. 989-662-4891 for tickets. There aren't many left. There aren't many left. 989-662-4891. Here are some of the things that we're getting ready to auction off. An African safari, courtesy of Craig Plowman and Trophies Africa. A Lake Michigan trout and salmon fishing trip, courtesy of Paul Schlafly of Riverside Charters in Manistee. A Saginaw Bay walleye fishing trip, courtesy of Jeff Godey of the Michigan Experience. A Michigan upland bird hunt from Lori and Brian Stroick, courtesy of Wild Card Guide and Outfitters, LLC. A Detroit River walleye fishing trip, courtesy of Mark Pananzek. A Saginaw Bay fishing trip, courtesy of Mike Avery. A Saginaw River cruise, courtesy of Mike and Denise Avery. Wild game dinners from Chef Dave Miner at Oscar and Joey's Roadhouse. That Michigan bear or elk hunt I'm talking about. Let me get rid of that there. From Johnny Bowler. Here's a very cool one. A 1-week charter captain's class. This class, through Great Lakes Charter Training and Captain John Littlefield. John is the guy I took my class from, where I got my license from. Proud member of the Michigan Charter Boat Association, by the way. I just got this. Going to put it in my wallet. Captain Mike Avery right there. Anyway, John Littlefield is giving away, not giving away. He's giving it to us to auction off a charter captain's class through Great Lakes Training. Michigan brand meat for a year. Michigan brand meats for a year from our friends, the Grillo family at Michigan Brand Meats. Scott Keatsman at Linwood Taxidermy, a shoulder mount. Linwood Beach Marine is giving away a launch pass for the season. Offshore products, Rapid River knives, Versa Skins. Mike says, you mentioned online bidding. Where do we get that info? Mike, it's not up and running yet. Let me take a drink here. And what is in the very expensive 50th anniversary Yeti from Jay's Sporting Goods? What's in the Yeti? Mike, what's in the Yeti? Crystal Light. Rob said, here the guy's having a tough time with COVID tests getting out of the States. I'll tell you who's on the show this week in just a minute. I want to go back to Mike's question about online bidding. We are doing something different this year. We are following the lead of other fundraising auctions. And in addition to our live auction that night, we're going to have an online auction, a virtual auction. So for people who won't be at the event, they can still bid on all of the items except for the live auction items. Deidre is working on putting that up in the background right now. I don't have a link for you yet. So to answer the question, Mike, I don't have a link for you yet. I promise as soon as I get that information, I will post it. Who's on the show this week? Thanks for asking. Matt Taggett of Rec Broadheads is on the show, but he's talking about not only Rec Broadheads, but shedding, the search for shed whitetail antlers. Then Beth Gruden of the Michigan Wildlife Council joins me to talk about the Here for Generations campaign to promote hunting and fishing in Michigan. In hour number 2, the airborne angler, you know the airborne angler, Martin Saliga joins me to talk about ice conditions on Saginaw Bay and also some ice fishing tips there as well. Then Nick Green from MUCC checks in. What is that right there? What is it? What is going on right there? Oh, I don't know what that is. Where is it? It's right there. There. I filled it in. Nick Green of MUCC checks in. I think we'll have the link up before a couple of weeks. I did not get the message on the Facebook page. Martin, I will check it out. Nick Green of MUCC. And then this week's Ask Avery question. I'm going to come back to that because the answer might surprise you. And then Tom Lounsbury and Wild Game Chef Dave Miner. I recorded a Primal podcast today with Philip Culpepper. Where is that? Here it is. With Philip Culpepper of Hunt Club TV. This week's Ask Avery segment, the Ask Avery question, comes in from, I can't tell you. I'll find it. I don't know where it is. Oh, I know where it is. I got rid of something before I should have. Never do that, Avery. That's not it. Bear with me, my friends. Not it. Trash. Not it. Trash. Not it. Trash. All right. There we go. This comes in from Teddy Marshall. He sent me an email to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. He says, Mike, I actually have two questions that have been eating on me for a while. Wondering if you can help me out. The first is, why can you predator hunt at night? Animals like fox, coyote, and coon, but bobcat hunting is restricted to daytime only. Why would some predator species be open to night hunting but not others? I have in my hands, and I'm not going to show you this. This is an unpublished memo circulated around the DNR, and I don't want to show you this because it might tip off who showed it to me. Hey, Mark, how are you? I was just talking about you, Captain Mark Panonzik. Thank you for that walleye fishing trip on the Saginaw River. Here we go. Nighttime bobcat hunting regulations posted on an internal memo from the DNR. He says the department discussed expanding bobcat hunting opportunities by allow the hunting of bobcats at night. While the department has no objection to the concept of nighttime bobcat hunting, some stakeholder groups have expressed concerns regarding possible declines in the bobcat population. The department also cannot reliably predict the impact on harvest if nighttime hunting of bobcats is allowed. Since an expansion of harvest opportunities may increase the harvest, you think? There is no recommended change to current regulations on nighttime bobcat hunting being brought forward for consideration. The second part of Ted's question, how could I just, here we go. How could I just add that in my hand? Did they cancel Tip Up Town? I don't think so. I think it was on last week, wasn't it? Isn't it a 2-weekend deal? He says, secondly, I've been told by a couple of coyote hunters who have claimed to have spoken to DNR officers that if a person has permission to hunt on both sides of both pieces of property, that you are legally allowed to shoot over a road. He says, I believe this excludes highways. This is just something that doesn't seem like it could be legal, but I've heard it from more than one person. I hope you can clear this up. Doesn't it seem strange? I agree with you, Teddy, that the concept of being allowed to shoot along a roadway, to shoot down a roadway, to shoot across a roadway would be illegal. Of course it would be illegal, right? Let me pull up my text here. Oh, this is a text. I'm not going to show you the text. Yeah, I can show you this one, but I won't. This is from Lieutenant Jason Wickland of the DNR. He's my go-to guy. He said, yes, there's no law against shooting down a roadway, across a roadway, or from a roadway if it's state land, if you don't have a loaded gun in a motor vehicle, or if it's private land, but it's your private land, or you have leased or access to the land on both sides of the road. Isn't that interesting? I don't think Tip Up Town was canceled due to thin ice. I thought ice on Houghton Lake was great. If you have a question for the Ask Avery segment, send it to me. Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. All right. What else is going on? Will I be in the Grand Rapids show this weekend? Will I be in Grand Rapids this weekend for the hunting show? Greg, no, I will not. I will not. I will probably be sticking pretty close to home here for a while. Except for that Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner. Let's see. What else was on my list that I wanted to talk about? What's on your mind? Let me rephrase that. What is on your mind? What do you want to talk about? They are running the drag sleds this weekend on Houghton Lake. I saw people, there we go. I saw people I know there for Tip Up Town, but I saw something about canceling it because one of the pickups going through the ice. Well, stupid is what stupid does, and stupid will always be. I'm not saying that ice is unsafe. Of course, ice is oftentimes safe. But if you drop your truck through the ice, you might be a certain kind of stupid. Let's just put that out there, right? You just, yeah. And you know what, Joe? And you can't fix that. You, you can't. Oh, and it was a survey truck. Gotcha, John. He's just saying, hey, I saw conflicting accounts. Ain't that interesting? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Accidents do happen. They do. Accidents can happen to the best people. A seasoned person, and I had my buddy Tony Sobey, retired conservation officer, on the radio show a couple of weeks ago, telling a story of a heartbreaking story of how God literally plucked him out of the ice of Saginaw Bay and saved his life. And if it can happen to him, and it can happen to anybody. But driving a truck across Houghton Lake and putting it in, which made me think of, this should be an Ask Avery question. If you drive your vehicle, let's just say not your snow machine or your quad or your Argo, if you drive your pickup on the ice, is your insurance void? Does driving on the ice void your insurance? You have 30 seconds to make your guess. Time starts right now. If you drive your truck on the ice, is your insurance then void? Tim says no. Ed says no. John says yes. Martin says no. Jeremy says no. Lori says, I believe it is. She's hedging her comments. Andrew Ken says no. Hey, Ken, how you doing, buddy? It was good seeing you at Dave's, my brother Ken. Tony says yes. So we've got kind of a mix here. Martin says yes once you leave the ground. Craig says probably not. Gilbert says no. Okay. The truth is that if your insurance company writes you a policy or tells you that your truck is not covered if you take it onto the ice, you should find a different insurance company. Yes, I did talk about this on the show. I did talk about this with the folks at Yider. You're covered. If you have a legitimate insurance company with a good policy and you drive your truck on the ice and it goes through, you are covered. Unless, of course, that they can prove that you were intentionally trying to sink that truck or you were trying to scam them somehow. Yes, you are covered by your insurance policy. Now, you're going to want to do everything you can to get that vehicle out of the ice, but because if it starts leaking gas or oil, then you've got other concerns with the Coast Guard. They don't like that. Do you have to pay for the DNR? Do you have to pay the DNR for recovery fines if your vehicle goes through the ice? My experience, Edgar, is if you make a good faith effort to recover that vehicle or sled or ORV, no. If you let it sit out there, you're going to be in trouble. Have to pay for somebody to remove the vehicle. Yes, I don't know if your insurance covers that or not. Yes, John, the Clean Water Act. I wanted to go, hey, Brad, how are you this evening? More info on more event. All right, let's do it here. Let's do it. Let me find it here. Let me pull it up. Images. 8707. Okay, let's share it. Slide. There we go. Because Robert says more info. Here we go. This is it. The Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. It's at Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center, Saturday, March 5th. The Bay Valley Resort is in Bay County, just off I-75 at M84. Tickets are $60 a piece. Chef Dave Miner is catering the event. I am the auctioneer. They call me the host, but I'm going to walk around with a microphone. I'm the live auctioneer. We have many great prizes. For tickets, many great auction items. For tickets, call 989-662-4891. 989-662-4891. But you better call tomorrow morning between 8 and noon because we are almost out of tickets. 989-662-4891. This year, for the first time, if you are not there, we are going to make the items available in a virtual auction, an online auction, everything except the live auction items. You will be able to bid. How many tickets we sold? 300. We limited it, Tony, to 300 this year because of COVID, and we wanted to keep the crowd down a little bit. We probably could have sold much more, but we put a limit on at 300. Dave is a buddy of yours, Mike. Hey, Stu, how are things on the 45th parallel? Nice to have you along with us. 300, Tony. And Tony, I look forward to meeting you. You and I have talked many times, and we actually saw each other out on the bay. I waved at you, and you're a speed troller. I like the way you troll, man. I like the way you troll. Mark says, okay, and he would know, you have 48 to 54 hours to get your rig out with 0 fines from the DEQ. Again, so if you make a good faith effort to get on it, you should be okay. Oh, Martin, I didn't know you didn't have tickets. Yes, please call tomorrow, 989-662-4891. Martin, to get your tickets. We'd love to have you and Kelly there. Oh, okay. Let me drop this down here. Remove. Okay. Another programming note. And we had talked about this at length. Our plan was to have a Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack restaurant the first Wednesday of March, June, September, and December. We have canceled the one for March because of staffing issues. The Lumberjack, like every place else, is having a hard time finding people. Isn't it interesting that nobody wants to work right now? And is it because they got money for staying home for COVID? Is it because people found out they can work from home? What is it? But everybody I know who has employees, and thankfully I don't have any employees, so I don't have to worry about this, but everybody I know, from accountants to restaurants to fast food places to manufacturing facilities, is having a terrible time getting people to work, to sign up for work, to show up for work, to come to work. It's crazy. And the Lumberjack is no exception. They just don't have enough people. The people they have are excellent, but they just don't have enough people to do a Wednesday night live where we can order off the menu. The option was to do a buffet. I just didn't want to do that because I think we've set the bar high enough. So we're going to put it on hold. Hopefully we can do it in June. Brian says, if I ever come across a bear, no, Stu, don't want to do it that way. Ever come across a bear den? When I was out with the DNR, I did. I've never found one on my own. Joe says, Mike, what day is it? What day is it? It's hump day. Rick from Montana. Hey, Rick, nice to have you along with us. Appreciate that very much. Am I coming to the MUCC banquet May 1st? I don't think so. People will go back to work but I do have a meeting with the folks from MUCC Monday. A buffet. Big, ugly, fat fellows eating together. I have no comment, Martin. People will go back to work when the government wants all their money back. I choose you over the state of the state. That's a good point, John. Thank you for saying that. Right now, you could be listening to our illustrious leader talk about the state of the state. And you've chosen to tune into me on Wednesday Night Live. I can sum up the state of the state in 2 words. It's great. If you want to make it that way. If you want to get out and enjoy God's creation and enjoy the hunting and fishing and outdoor recreational opportunities we have, our state is great. John says, we get the state of the outdoors every Wednesday. Tim says, I'm not as good looking as the governor. That's not what he said. Yeah, well. John says he agrees. Another John says he agrees. Now, you might be asking, why does John spell his name that way? John, I met John bow hunting in Ohio, and I can never remember John. Romania, Serbia. Where are you from, buddy? Originally, I mean, I know you're an American now. I get that. What day is the wild game dinner? It is Saturday, March 5th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay County at I-75 and M84. Hey, Gene checking in. Apex Marine. He's going to be helping to build my 2022 Angler Quest here pretty soon. I would imagine they'll get started on it. Well, next 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. The sooner the better, Gene. If you have any pull there, Gene, the sooner the better. Romanian for John, the same biblical name. I knew that. And John, you have told me that a half a dozen times now. And I apologize. And you know what? I will probably ask you again, and I will apologize again. Yeah, I need to get out there. I need to stop in. I used to go out to Apex all the time, but now they've got a marketing person, Kristen Monroe, who does a wonderful job, and I end up dealing with her a lot, so I don't have to go to the plant as much. What? Martin. Ugh. The cantilevered fishing deck. What Angler Quest did for 2022 is, the marine grade plywood floor that is covered with a marine grade vinyl. That's the floor of the boat. That's what the seats are on. That's what everything is mounted on. It has been extended off the rear of the boat, the stern of the boat, the transom of the boat, maybe a foot, maybe 18 inches, but it now extends out over the water. So when you land a fish or, set your lures or something, you're no longer having to deal with reaching over the back of the tubes. You're extended out over the water, so it makes it easier. Good point, Lori. What if we have a crossbow for the auction? Then what is Martin going to do? Yeah, it won't be long. I'll be picking up night crawlers. Not. Although, I think picking up night crawlers, I'm always talking about the Michigan outdoor traditions. Picking up night crawlers in the spring at night is certainly a Michigan outdoor tradition. I did that as a kid. I loved it. It's part of the preparation, part of the ritual of getting ready for the opening day of trout and walleye seasons, right? So it's pretty cool. I haven't done it for a while because I don't fish with crawlers. I have nothing against crawlers. I would use crawlers for trout. I would use crawlers for other things. I just don't use them for walleye. Thank you, Dave. Sounds like you've got to go. How you feeling, buddy? As of this point, we do not have a crossbow that I am aware of. Thanks, John. Always a pleasure, buddy. Eric says he loves picking up crawlers. It is kind of a challenge, kind of fun, isn't it, right? Especially for kids. And you get out there and you find and you grab a hold of those things, you start to pull them out and they want to fight back and they're pulling out and you're pulling in. And then sometimes they break off. Oh, it's a real challenge. Gene says he doesn't have that much pull to get my pontoon started, but he'll put the helm on for me. I'll take that, Gene. make sure you put that special cigar tube in the helm station. Mine is the only boat that they put the cigar tube in there, and they have put it in every boat ever since my first one. You might call it a map storage unit. You might call it just a storage tube, but it's not. It's actually a cigar holder on my boat and always will be. Exactly. Picking up night crawlers with a warm up to spring fishing. It's a lost tradition. Tim used to do it at Curry Golf Course in Midland with a flashlight. Of course, you had to have a flashlight so you could see them, right? And it's like they could sense the vibration as you would walking up to them if you weren't careful and stealthy. That's why it was the perfect thing for kids, right? It was like this nighttime adventure. So being out there after dark was cool. You're hunting some critter, which is cool. You got to sneak up on them. Brad is staying in his rental unit next weekend. He put in a good word for me. Thanks, Cap. I appreciate that. Gene says, I'll mark that as a cigar holder. I want a cedar lining in that cigar tube. We'll officially make it a cigar holder. If I can get a cedar lining in that tube. Yes, I love crawlers on the boat. Josh, you are exactly right. I love crawlers on the boat. I just don't love crawlers on my boat. Optimo Mango. Don't know what that means, Edgar. Is that a cigar? Trying to watch me and KVD, Kevin Van Dam, at the same time. Brandon, I'll tell you right now, man, watch KVD. Yeah, I mean, if I had a choice between Avery and Kevin Van Dam, I'm watching Kevin Van Dam. I'll just tell you. I'll just be honest with you. Already talked to him, Greg. You made spare change picking up crawlers. Yeah. Jeff said, time to make the Robins mad. Pick up the crawlers. All right, James. Once again, Archer, good to see you, buddy. Tony says, what do I smoke? My favorite cigar is a Drew Estates Fat Bottom Betty in a Maduro wrapper. I love Maduro wrappers. I love Dominican cigars. But I'm trying to cut back on them, and I'm actually going to cheaper cigars because I was so addicted to them, and I was smoking so many of the expensive cigars. It was getting too expensive. So I'm trying to cut back on the number of cigars I smoke, and I'm trying to smoke cheaper cigars. That way I don't enjoy them as much, so I don't smoke as much, so I don't spend as much on cigars. Vicious cycle. And I sell them at the off-ramp of 94 and 23 Mile Chesterfield Saturday mornings, always sold out by 9 a.m., 50 cents a dozen. Dave, that's so cool. Talk about a Michigan outdoor tradition. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. Robins don't work a third shift, Stu says. 25 cents a dozen when he was younger, Eric says. It was just, I never sold them. But it was just, we used to go out across the railroad tracks over to the football field and pick them up there. No, Ed, I did not. Can I say it again? I did not. Did I ever go to that site that Larry told you about in Ohio? Are you talking to me, Lori, or somebody else? Because I did not, and I'm not. Oh, no. The cigar. No, I did not, Lori. I did not. Now I know what you're talking about. Larry, the landowner who we hunted on his property, a great guy, a cigar smoking guy. He gave me a website to go to, and I didn't. Who doesn't love a bourbon or a brandy and expensive cigar? Nikki, you are my kind of woman. In the summertime, I like to sit out on my patio, put my feet up, light one of those Drew Estates Fat Bottom Betties. Sound like Ted Nugent. Betties. Pour myself a Crystal Light and Maker's Mark and enjoy the world. I did not, Lori. I did not. Is it still legal to sell crawlers from your house? I never see signs anymore. Tim, I certainly hope it is. If we've gotten to the point in this world where you can't sell night crawlers, then something's wrong with the world. I'm not saying something's not wrong with the world, but I think it's still legal to sell night crawlers. warm, rainy nights it was just a warm, rainy, early springtime night. Go out there with a flashlight. They'd be all stretched out. Oh, it's just wonderful. Wonderful. Like it was part of the ritual of preparation. For me at the time, it was trout season. These days, it would be walleye season. Yeah. What else? Think we're getting ready to wrap this up. 989-662-4891 for the Trinity. I'll bring it up one more time. 989-662-4891 to get your tickets to the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. It's Saturday, March 5th. Tickets are $60 a piece. I think we've got about 20 of them left as of right now. And they'll be gone by the weekend. Love to see you there. Some great items. Appreciate everybody who donated. Several of those donations came through last week right here on Wednesday Night Live. Tim says, Dave says he knows the Amish cell crawlers around Gladwin. Stu's got his way of chilling out. Crown Royal, a fire, Smoker's Choice along the Ausable, listening to the Whippoorwills. Doesn't get any better than that. Tony's hitting Saginaw Bay tomorrow. Good luck, Tony. Have fun. Yeah, Ross must have company tonight. Ross hasn't checked in. I think he's got company. Hey, Dan, good evening. How are you? Yeah, I'll be out there, Gene. I'll be out there. And when I'll make a point of it. When I come out there, Gene, I will stop by and say hi to you. Jeremy likes Jack Daniel's apple and cranberry juice. All right, my friends, thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. You can always reach out to me. My email address is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. My website is mikeaveryoutdoors.com. We're going to be tweaking that very soon. I've been saying that for a while, but honestly, we're going to get to it. Again, stay warm. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.